Hello everyone, you are all welcome to lecture number 1274, and today's topic is role of biological clock in aging. The word biological clock looks very simple, and nowadays most of the people they ask what is that biological clock. So here let me make it clear. For human being, I can say that there are two clocks. One is called biological clock and other one is called internal clock. So today I am going to discuss what is the role of biological clock in our aging, health and disease all. And this biological clock means in 24-hour time how we are going to spend every hour during day, during night, and this light, that is sunlight, and dark, that is night, how they are going to play the role in our metabolic process, in our hormone secretion like melatonin. Melatonin is known as the hormone of night. Once day starts, it is reduced, and there are some different hormones. Once sunlight is there, it will start multiplying, and your brain power, intellectual power, or we can say the brain activity, at what time it will be maximum, that is on the basis of biological clock. It is around 11 to 12:30 or 10 to 12, 10 to 1, like that. Within 3-4 hours it is very active. So all these factors are there, and also how it is going to affect your premature aging, or we can call it how it can keep you healthy for long duration of time. So for all these things, your brain neuron cell is there, and that is the center of your biological clock, and that neuron cell is nothing but protein. So here in totality, protein chemistry is involved in the form of gene, because gene expression is there. Once biological clock is there, there is important role of stem cell. Stem cell means, I have already discussed this issue, means once two cells, one is male and other one is female. Male is called egg and male is called sperm and female is called egg. So when sperm and egg they fuse together, fertilization will take place and it will start multiplying different type of cells, and that those cells are called stem cells. The role of stem cells, then gene expression is because of biological clock, means how your, what is gene? I have already told you in the previous lecture, is fragmented part of your DNA. DNA means deoxyribose nucleus, that is your heredity material, the carrier of your ancestors, trait, fingerprint from great grandfather to great father to father and to children. So that is affected, and all these factors together is called biological clock. And if we are not taking care of all the factors one by one, then your biological clock will not function properly and you will suffer from different type of diseases. And in that case, oxidative stress and chronic inflammation is also included. That is in biological clock. That also plays important role. And I have already discussed a lot on chronic inflammation is the mother of all diseases, and oxidative stress is responsible of lot of chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, all these things. So point wise I am going to discuss one by one. Actually this topic or chapter, that is biological clock, how it is involved in aging process is complex and very lengthy. So I have tried it to summarize it as much as possible. So here I have mentioned what are the components and agents of biological clock to maintain it or to accelerate the aging process. So biological clock, we should try to understand what is biological clock. It is the internal innate system that synchronizes the bodily function with 24-hour day-night cycle. So 24-hour day-night cycle, how you are spending night, day with different type of activities, that is your biological clock, and that is controlled by one protein neuron cell inside our brain. And this cycle is controlled by a complex network of gene. If I say complex network of gene, means it is the fragment of DNA molecule, and DNA molecule is nothing but nucleic protein that is called deoxyribonucleic acid segment that is in the form of protein, and neural networking. Neural networking means in our brain also there is connectivity of all the neuron cells, and they pass on the electrical impulse, that is called neural networking. So they are all together functioning, and that is called biological clock. And these are all some components I have given here. The key components of biological clock, number one is that is called master clock. I have already told you that neuron cell is in the center of our brain. That is the master key of your biological clock, I call it. That is neural cell. Number two, peripheral clock. This clock is found in our tissue, body tissue. That is called peripheral clock. They are all the component of biological clock. Biological clock itself is not only just like wall clock. It has different components. And after this, then I will go to other clock, which is involved in aging process, is called internal clock, and that I will be discussing later on. So tissue, and number three is clock gene. Genes means DNA fragment that is also involved to regulate the circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm is controlling everything, means it is the cycle of day and night and how all the biological activities are going on, and that is around circadian rhythm. And here let me show you circadian rhythm. So here in this image, your biological clock is shown, and how circadian rhythm, that is called internal clock, is managed in circle, and all the human activities are there from morning till evening. This is your biological clock, and that clock means it's needle is showing when the right time is there for sleep, when there is right time for to get up, when you are going to bed, what circumstances should be there during daytime from 10 to 11, what activity, then from 1 to 2, like that, all are in the biological circle, and that is going to determine your aging process. And if you can control, if you can manage well your biological clock, definitely you will be healthy and you will be having long life. So here in clock gene, what I have written, and number three, that is, and it is also having two factor. One factor is called PER2, that is period factor, is all controlled by your protein molecule, and the second one is called BAML1 factor. That factor is your brain and nucleus factor. BAMS, brain and nucleus factor protein. So these two factors are working with your clock gene. Is all complex protein. And then number four is hormone clock. Hormone clock is also playing very important role. Like melatonin is the hormone of night. Once you get up, it will reduce drastically. And then cortisol, your stress hormone, when by what activity it will increase or decrease. then your insulin and growth hormone. So they are also part of the biological clock, and once the hormone is not controlled properly, your biological clock will be disturbed and you will get some chronic disease, or your acceleration of aging will be there, premature aging. Then number 3, role in aging process, that is biological clock. So what is the role of biological clock in your aging process? That is the important thing. So number 1 is disturbance in circadian rhythm that accelerates your aging process. So once your circadian rhythm is disturbed, your cycle of life from morning till night or 24-hour is not routine or properly managed, that will accelerate your aging. The one biological clock factor. The second is gene dysregulation contribute. Once your gene is under press or oxidative stress, it will dysregulate and gene expression will be there, and it will accelerate your aging process, that is called premature aging. Number 3, epigenetic change. Epigenetic factor alter the gene expression and influencing the premature aging. Then metabolic regulation, your all gut health and the metabolic process, if it is disturbed, again it will accelerate to aging process. That is disrupted metabolic process of glucose and lipid protein in your gut, in your body. That is also one of the biological clock factor. Then number 5, oxidative stress. Oxidative stress, we know, it will damage lot of our normal cells, genetic cells, DNA, hereditary material, and we call it oxidative damage, and that will accelerate your aging process. Then chronic inflammation. I have already discussed a lot about chronic inflammation is the mother of all chronic diseases. That will accelerate your aging process. And then stem cell. Once enough stem cell is not produced in your body, it is exhausted. Again, it will contribute to aging process. So here I have given in a summary the treatment and the points of biological clock factors. So number 4, factors affecting biological clock. So there are certain factors, they affect biological clock. Number 1 is your lifestyle. That is irregular sleep and low discipline or overeating. 9 hour sleep is also followed by a regular time. Not that one day you are going to bed to sleep at 12 in the midnight, one day at 11, other day at 8. No, it should be fixed time. Number 2, a mood disorder. Anxiety and irritation is the biggest factor of premature aging. Control it, and that is your brain health. Number 3, environmental factor. In environmental factor, that is exposure to heat and temperature, and then exposure to natural light. Most of the time we are indoor, it means we are having artificial light, and that artificial light maybe that is your LED bulb or a yellow light. So that is going to affect, but the light means early in the morning, focus to sunlight, that is called either blue or yellow light of very low intensity, and that will regulate your hormone function. Then genetic factor. Your genetic factor is gene expression. Your DNA is involved. I told you that what is gene? It is fragment of DNA molecule, mutation and DNA damage. There are so many factors by means of which your gene expression is there and your DNA molecules are also damaged. That is called genetic material. And number 5, nutrition and diet. Balanced diet is also important factor. If you are taking any rubbish, means junk food, lot of fat, lot of lipid, and then trans fat, it is going to affect your biological clock. Number 5, maintaining biological clock. How will you maintain properly your biological clock? So one is regular sleep for 8 hours in regular time. Number 2, exposure to natural sunlight, that is morning blue and yellow light. Then number 3, balanced diet. I have already told you where it should contain enough protein, carbohydrate, mineral, vitamin, and I used to say always that go for 80% fruit and vegetable and add 20% protein on any miscellaneous food. So your 80% should be colored fruit and vegetables. Then avoid TV screen, smartphone before sleep. When you are going to sleep nowadays, is very common practice to all of us. Even sometimes I am involved to see some important messages before bed. If there is ringing or there is message, I will get up and start checking. So please, if you want to maintain your biological clock, make sure that you follow discipline. Maybe at 10 or whatever is your returning time, no need to attend any of the TV or smartphone screen before sleep. Number 6, relaxation. Relaxation means those who are Muslim, they can follow 5-time prayer. Or in Allah Maha Sabrin, Allah is with you. With that feeling, those who are Hindus, they can go for yoga and meditation like that. And then 6, that is treatment to improve biological clock. What is the treatment to maintain and to improve biological clock? Number 1 is chronobiology based treatment. It's a very interesting branch that is called chronobiology. Means here this biology to study the influence of circadian rhythm, that is internal clock, and that is very important. Chronological biology is so important that it will tell you about all inside your biological clock and internal clock in 24-hour time, how your body is following your internal clock. I am going to deliver one lecture on internal clock. And then number 2, you should not hesitate if in case there is always insomnia or sleep disorder or mood disorder. Please go for melatonin supplement. Consult your doctor and then you can take it. Will improve your biological clock. And then 3rd, biological clock gene therapy. Nowadays gene therapy is there, that is called biological clock therapy. Therapies, you can follow that one. It's little bit costly. And then last one but not least, modification of your lifestyle. It is applicable every moment. So with this I will stop. Thank you very much for watching the lecture.